NSO have released the data, and as per the NSO's data, the unemployment rate in India in September rose to 5.2%. Just for your information, NSO earlier was releasing the data of unemployment rate on quarterly basis, but now the unemployment rate data is going to be released on monthly basis. It is compiled and released on monthly basis to provide the better information about how the system of especially the employment and labor market is working. Now, if you closely see, we are at 5.2% of the unemployment rate, and growth rate is reaching to 6.5, 6.6%. So growth is rising, but unemployment is also rising. So is it a case of jobless growth? We cannot say it at present because it's just a data of past 2-3 months, but it usually happens if the growth rate is consistently rising, but despite rising the growth rate, unemployment rate is also rising. So if the growth rate is rising, but unemployment rate is also rising, then it will be the fit case for calling it as a jobless growth. But how it happens? Because growth rate increasing means you are able to generate more income through production. More production means more employment generation, more income generation. Then how it happens? Well, we divide the economy in the 3 sectors: agriculture sector, industries sector, and services sector. Agriculture sector and industry sector, they are labor intensive, where we need more number of the people in order to go for production activity. So if your economy is growing because of the acceleration more driven by services sector, which is not labor intensive, so economy will grow because of the accelerated growth in services and related sector. So growth rate will be remain high because it is being pumped up by the services sector, whereas agriculture and industries are growing with the normal rate, but overall growth rate is pumped up by the services sector, then overall growth rate will high. But services sector need less employees, less number of the people, then what will happen? Then employment will be not generated with that pace, and that is why it can be a case of jobless growth. So sometimes for past 25 years, if we'll calculate from 1991 to next 25 years in India, so in that phase we have seen a high growth rate, average 6.5% GDP growth rate, but at the same time the unemployment rate is also above 5.5%, 5.25% to 5.5%. So this shows how despite high growth, India is also having high unemployment rate. So that is why it can be called as a jobless growth. What needs to be done in order to avoid this jobless growth? Well, answer we have already know that. I have already told you, we have to focus on what sector? Agriculture and industries. And more importantly, agriculture sector growth. The agriculture sector growth is going to be more effective. Why? Because agriculture is the largest employment generator in the country, plus all those people who are involved in the agriculture sector, usually they are coming from the rural area. So if agriculture sector will grow, then rural sector will also grow, and rural sector have 70% population of this country. Means if the rural sector will grow, rural economy, demand will be generated, that will pump up further industries. So we can see the proper trickle down. Growth in one sector will lead to the growth of other sector, is called trickle down. If agriculture will grow, then definitely industries and services sector will grow. But if service sector is growing, there is no guarantee of growth of agriculture and industries. But if agriculture or industry is going to grow, especially agriculture is going to grow, then it will definitely lead to the growth of industries and services sector. This is how the countries have evolved over the period of time and they become a developed country. So in these developed countries, growth will properly trickle down from agriculture to industries, industry to services sector. In the case of India, the 1991 LPG reforms have impacted industries as well as services both. But India's economic growth is boomed and catalyzed by services sector. So that is why in case of India, we see jobless growth kind of the situation, whereas we do not see such kind of situation in the case of China and other Asian countries. Okay, thank you.